Hi, how you doing? We're back and we're ready for it all over again.
Hey boys, it's election Hey boys, it's election time. That's right. Woo! On the 29th of October, MPs voted 422 to 30 to hold an election on the 12th of December 2019, but of course, no one really wanted this.
Mr. Speaker, would it be in order to record that in private, many of us have come to the conclusion that the majority of backbenchers on both sides do not want a general election? And would it be because as the...
So, who are we voting for? Big anti-Semite in the city, 𝓉𝒽𝒾𝓈? Or are we voting Tory, getting us some more hot austerity? Delicious.
Interesting political times, albeit with a slight side order of surrealism. Vote Conservative to undo 9 years of Conservative policies. That is, I'm sorry to go on about this, but sometimes I stumble across an insight or an observation, and I just can't quite believe my own eyes. Vote Conservative to undo 9 years of Conservative policies. Right, okay.
Love a big cup of that. I would like to briefly mention my favourite moment of the 𝓉𝒽𝒾𝓈 anti-Semitism discourse, that famed, that beautiful memory, the Judas Seder. This just delights me.
I heard Jeremy Corbyn is attending a Seder tonight.
Yes, but it's with a group of leftist Jews.
Oh God, oh no, not the anti-Semitic Jews. Oh God.
Sabre. Now, I'm not saying that anti-Semitism don't reel in the Labour Party. They did, after all, try to make Holocaust Memorial Day less about Jews by renaming it Genocide Memorial Day before deciding that that was a bad look. A true brah moment. But I just think maybe if we're criticising Labour, which we should do all the time, in my opinion, we could also take a hot moment to remember, I don't know, the time Conservative MEPs voted against enacting disciplinary action in the European Parliament against Viktor Orban's Hungarian government, much criticised for being authoritarian, anti-Semitic and Islamophobic, or the time that following media criticism of Labour adopting the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's definition of anti-Semitism only partially in their party rulebook, Theresa May claimed that the Conservative Party had adopted the definition in full, despite their rulebook at the time making no reference to anti-Semitism at all. Or perhaps the time Conservative MP Suella Braverman said we gotta, fight cultural Marxism, bro. And can we talk about how Jeremy Corbyn manages to be a combo of an anti-Semite and a cultural Marxist, though? Boy really goes for it. It's inspirational. You can be anything if you put your mind to it, really, can't you? Suella Braverman stood by her cultural Marxism comments later, adding,
Yes, I do believe we're in a battle against cultural Marxism. As I said, we have culture evolving from the far left, which has allowed the snuffing out of freedom of speech, freedom of thought. No one can get offended anymore. We are living in a culture where we are putting everyone in cotton wool. A risk-averse mentality is now taking over. And that instinct for freedom, for risk-taking, for making mistakes, for innovation, for creativity is being killed. And it's absolutely damaging for our spirit as British people and our genius, whether it's for innovation and science or culture and civilization, whether it's for statecraft. I'm very aware of that ongoing creep of cultural Marxism, which has come from Jeremy Corbyn.
Corbyn's out there and he's gonna take your thoughts, hide your thoughts. It's really important to criticise any unfortunate thread of a party or politician that you can catch and yank out like a dead hair, the weird racist stuff and misguided attitude to the working class and the way they look. Wait, maybe, you know what? Maybe not that one, actually. But you gotta really pull that out. Maybe get some nail scissors, just kind of get that boy out. Damn, how do I get it out? But when long streams of tweets cataloguing contextless unfortunate moments are brought along down the conveyor belt to us, you've been framed for the online age of a dog repeatedly licking its own ass, and the dog is, yet again, Ken Livingstone. Jacob Rees-Mogg, of course, would never lick his own ass because he doesn't have a tongue, there's simply a small harpsichord in his mouth. But the endless piling up of high cringe fosters one thing that is a hefty dead weight to an election: voter apathy. We all hear it, that they're just as bad as each other's, a choice between two evils line, the idea that Labour and the Conservatives are one big cauldron of two-pot noodles gone very wrong, and it's understandable, the demoralisation in the face of an election that offers little choice, but you see the real truth is that the Lib Dems will make it all better. I mean, I get it, okay, but Labour and the Tories will never be the same. You see enough news articles and tweets digging holes for various politicians to fall into and stay in, and it's easy to write them all off. They're all the same piece of rock, whatever. These people don't know, don't care, don't understand a thing they're doing. They're as bad as each other. They're all the same. In some ways, you're right, and the public distaste for Brexit is still the primary concern in many people's minds, feeding into a total disillusionment in the facts of the two major parties just being like, yeah, let's do Brexit, kind of, But who do these nihilistic semantics really benefit? Because apathy doesn't challenge the status quo, and Brexit and an endless cycle of referendum discourse, while of course a deeply important issue with life-changing implications for millions in its own right, serves as the Conservatives' perfect distraction from the scope of their destructive history and potential. Labour can and should be criticised in a multitude of ways, as any party should be, but to look at the severity of increased austerity across the past 9 years, to look at the effects of funding cuts on a multitude of public services and disadvantaged people's access to them, the closure of hospitals and the hiking of tuition fees, and the illegal campaign to enact the UK's withdrawal from the EU built on at times Holocaust-reminiscent racist imagery and rhetoric, as well as lies about potential savings, the distribution of said savings, and benefits to integral public services, and the botched, bumbling clown car and fire process of attempting to implement it, to look at all of those things and say that Labour and the Conservatives are the same is wrong. So what's happening now? Well, Jeremy wore a green tie as a symbol to honour the victims of the Grenfell fire, but Tories weren't a huge fan of the look.
You've done excellent work in opening up Parliament to visitors, exhibitions and children, and you've reduced some of these strange customs and strange garments that people wear in this building. And it's all right, it's all right. I know you're all jealous of my tie, but it's okay.
2 days in, and we're cracking open the Holocaust 2 discourse.
PM Corbyn will oversee a country of horrific anti-Semitism, the likes of which we haven't experienced since World War II.
What do you think Corbyn is going to do? Like, do you genuinely believe he's going to start a pogrom?
I'm sorry. I'm very tired. Anyway, so let's move on from that. Turns out the Tories are having their manifesto for this election written by fracking lobbyist Rachel Wolf, who works as a partner at Public First, a business which lobbies ministers on behalf of the shale gas industry. Meanwhile, the Labour Party is threatening to ban the extraction of shale gas altogether. Turns out that, I wrote the script 2 days ago, and now the government actually banned fracking, so okay. The Tories, who failed to make adequate progress on 14 out of 19 nature targets set in 2010 by the Global Convention on Biological Diversity. Interesting. 2010. What happened that year? I can't remember. It's kind of strange dream. Anyway, register to vote or something. I don't know, have a mojito. Have a mojito, I think is the... yeah. Let's do that.
Can anyone hear me? It's me. Nick Clegg. I've been stuck in a toilet for 7 years. Can someone please help? I've been trying to contact the outside world for so long. Hello? Hello?